So by now, most of you should know, my name is Yusef Scott, and I want to welcome you to the So Darn Easy Forex University. As always, everyone, I want to thank you guys for being here watching this video. Of course, this video is brought to you by the So Darn Easy Forex University. I realize you guys will be on someone else's channel, but you're not. You're here watching this video, so I want to thank you. As always, if you're not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, get subscribed, and remember, if you're not yet a part of our following over there on social media, you want to get over there as well. Now listen, in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a little twist of something that I normally don't do, but I want to tell you guys a few things. I want you guys to stick around towards the end of the video. I'm going to be telling you guys some important tips that'll help you out with trading the news, and also I'm going to tell you guys some things about some little nuggets that I think you guys really need to know about news events. All right, now the first things first, you guys need to know that everything that you guys know about Forex is, it's a lot of it is regurgitated information. If you guys look at things that hop up in the news, most of you know about the Jay-Z details about, the Jay-Z and NFL deal that they have going on. But there's so much talk about and rumors about this and that and this. But a lot of it, most people, they don't even read to know what's going on. They just go off of what people are saying. They just go off of what people are saying. And most of the people who are saying stuff, they too are going off of what's been regurgitated. So you have a lot of fluff, a lot of lies that are being circulated in the market, around, the internet. But then the same thing is true for the market. A lot of people who talk about Forex and talk about the financial markets, they're just regurgitating stuff that's been said over the years about the Forex and the financial markets. And people, they really don't know. They haven't experienced things for themselves, because a lot of people, most people are losing, and they haven't been around long enough to really experience it. So you guys know how it is. People, they talk. They do a lot of talking, and they can't really show you. So let me explain some things to you guys. And I want you guys to really key in on this, because towards the end of the video, I'm going to be telling you guys some important tips about the trading the news, and I'm going to be telling you guys some things that maybe you haven't heard before. All right. But if you're a student of mine, you may have heard this, and you guys know when you sit in on my training, a lot of times we close down things and we talk real talk. We'll talk real, like, I'm sitting right in front of you. We just open up the floor and we just talk. I talk to you guys like, come on now, we're all the same. So here's the deal. Most of you, if you've been a student of mine, you guys know I've told you I've traded the news. At one point, that was all that I ever did. All right, all that I ever did was I traded the news. It was super stressful. There were some good days and there were a lot of bad days. All right, and made some good money, but then I also lost a lot of money. All right, there were times when I was sitting on the edge of my seat and I knew I was going to win, and I lost. Okay, so that's first things first. News events, you can make and you can lose a lot of money. All right, real fast. So something about news events that attract a lot of people. Why is it that it attracts a lot of people? Is that, of course, there's a burst of volatility in the market, so you can make a lot of money really fast, like I told you guys. But the problem is that most people don't look at what's really going on. Okay, when I was new into the game, like I told you guys, I traded the news. That was all that I ever wanted to do, because to me, in my thinking, hey, listen, this is the one time that the market is going to be jumping. Why do I need to trade any other time? I'm just going to trade when there's news. So what I did was this, and I want you guys to pay attention. I would create a spreadsheet. Okay, I would create a spreadsheet, and I would create these columns. Okay, and rows, you guys know, and I would have one row would be the actual trading event. Okay, NFP, whatever, and then I would also have another column where I would explain, or I would jot down the type of move that the news event would have. So how I did this is, for instance, the NFP. I would look at the NFP news event and I would go back and I would analyze the market. I would say, okay, for instance, the Euro USD, you know the Euro USD is going to move during the NFP. So I would go back every month, you know, and I would measure the amount of movement, the amount of pips each candle would have for that news event. Okay, I see the market jump 87 pips, so I would jot that down. All right, a month after that, I would jot down, okay, this will move 101 pips. Jot that down. So every month I would do that, maybe 6 to 12 months going back. And then I would, you know, average it out. Okay, on average, I see the NFP, you can get this amount of pips. Okay, and then I would jot down, of course, the time. It's important to know the time. And then I would also jot down the pairs affected. Okay, so if you know that the NFP is going to open up at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you look across the market, you see, oh, I see these pairs move too. These pairs move too. Like most people, they know that the USD pairs will be affected, but I've seen at times where the entire market was affected by the NFP. Okay, so that's something to think about. A lot of stuff that people they tell you about certain news events, it's not always true. Okay, when you think about correlation, this is really for another video, but when you think about correlation, just want to throw this out there to you guys. Something that I tell people is that, listen, correlation is fantastic. It's really fantastic. It's a great way for you to make money on both ends. Fantastic. But the correlation rules are not always the truth. It doesn't always hold true all the time. Okay? If you know that, okay, if this market is going up, then this market should be going down. Sometimes you may see both of them moving in the same direction super effectively, meaning they'll all be jumping up in one direction where usually it's the opposite. So you have to be very careful with that. All right. So going back to my original point, you know, when I was trading the news, I would jot down the news event. I would jot down the time that the news event would occur. I would jot down the amount of pips that I seen that the market would gain off of the news event. And then lastly, when I analyzed the entire market for the news event, I would jot down, okay, I see that these particular pairs are mainly affected by this particular news event. So those 4 key elements are very important. It's really essential to your success trading the news. So let me tell you guys something. The reason why the news trading wasn't all too effective for me is because I've always had a long-term mentality. That's the way I thought, just long-term, which most people should be thinking long-term, which is why I teach you to trade long-term first before you're trading short-term. Everything works together. Everything works together. But people won't tell you that. Okay? People will tell you just the opposite. Okay? They're going to tell you just the opposite, and unfortunately, that's how people get screwed. So me, with my long-term thinking, I was trying to trade short-term because the news event is only going to only affect the market for a short-term, only short-term. So of course, I was finding myself on the losing end more so on the winning end. Okay, so that's something very important to think about. Now, when you get into trading the news, okay, something that is very important for you to consider is, hey, listen, if you're trading the news right now, you need to know that this news event, like I said, it will not be an all-day event. It won't be. Okay, it's going to end at some point. So if you're getting into the event late, you're already at odds with making money. All right, it's really going against the grain. Okay, me myself, the way I look at it, and in another video, I'm going to be showing you guys proof of this. Okay, so I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. News events, it's only a temporary occurrence. Okay, it's only a temporary occurrence in the market. That's it. It doesn't last forever. It's only temporary. So if you're, trading, you have the mindset of a long-term trader and you're trading short-term, you can cause a collision, you can have problems. So you have to know that it's only temporary, and that when the news event is over, more than likely, key point, more than likely, the market will return back to normalcy. Okay? So while most people, they are expecting for the market, oh, this thing is going up, it's going up, it's going up. Let me get in, I don't want to miss anything. The whole fear of missing out. You're getting in late, and the market is saying, oh no, we're cooling off now. And you lose. And that's what happens to a lot of people. So you want to be careful with that. If you don't come to the party, like I tell my students a lot, I say, you know what, with certain cookouts, if I'm gonna go to a cookout during the summer, if I'm going there and if I'm going there on an empty stomach or nearly an empty stomach, I'm gonna get there early. Because one thing that I don't like is I don't like going to a cookout and people have picked over all the food. Family, I love them, but I don't want to eat over food that's been picked over all day long. I don't want to do that. So same thing, if you go to a party, you want to go to the party, you want to be at the party, like, you want to be there early so you could do your thing. But if you're going to the party late, like, come on, who want to go to the party late? You may miss out on some fun, so you want to get there, make sure you're there on time. Same thing, real life, real talk. If you're trading on the market for the news event, you don't want to come to the news event late, because then you wouldn't know what you're stepping into. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same thing. So hopefully this made sense to you guys. In my next video, I'm going to show you guys proof of what I told you here. All right, you guys know, until next time, Yusef Scott, the Forex GOAT. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.